All right. So I actually decided to get this thing. So I've heard the bad reviews. I really want to check this thing out to see it. Is it as bad as everybody says it is? So, I've watched a couple reviews from RGT and speculation from Review Tech USA, and it's honestly wasn't looking too good. But I still kept my pre-order anyway. So I want to see if I can see, is this thing really as bad as everybody else says it is? So I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this thing, and we're gonna take a look at it. I'm gonna have some footage and some gameplay as well too, just to see, because really understand the hardware aspect. We only have 16 gigs of RAM. It's running based off of a MediaTek processor. Only 1 gig of RAM there. I think I had said 16 gigs. 16 gigs of onboard storage, but 1 gig of RAM. And honestly, I wanted to just go ahead and check this out. I mean, sure, those specs should be simple enough to power this console, but honestly, I want to see if it's worth it overall. Because I mean, the price of this thing is 99 bucks. What they're asking for. At least they did due diligence to give you 2 controllers. So I'd just like to see overall, is the gameplay worth it? Does it really actually, is it as bad as everybody says it is? So let me go ahead and get to it. I'm gonna stop yapping and let's go ahead and unbox it. And so let me go ahead and take a look at the box before I show you what's inside. So on the outside, of course, you have the PlayStation. Pull this way. So of course you've got the PlayStation logo and the traditional PlayStation look. I mean, it looks just like a PS1 box. So on this side, you've got, are you ready to play? You've got 20 incredible games. And then of course they tell you what games on the back here. So you've got Battle Arena Toshinden. You know what? Contrary to popular opinion, I actually enjoyed playing that game back in the day. You got Cool Borders 2. Since then, there's been way better snowboarding games, but that's what they decided to include. You got Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII, which was one of the legendary classics, Grand Theft Auto. That's before it got really big, really popular as it is now. You got Intelligent Cube, Jumpin' Flash, Metal Gear Solid. I remember playing Metal Gear Solid a lot because I didn't get the original PS1. But I happened to get the PS2, and since the PS2 was backwards compatible, I know a friend put me on Metal Gear Solid, and that's been one of my favorite games to this day. Mr. Driller, you got Oddworld. I love the Oddworld series. You got Rayman. You've got Resident Evil, Director's Cut. You got Revelations Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. You got Siphon Filter, Tekken 3. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms. So we're just gonna go ahead and get to it. Gonna go ahead and unbox and see what's inside. So you get your manual and stuff. You get your instruction manual. File that to the side. And here you go, voila. Pretty simple. Here's the PlayStation itself, and it's packaged pretty well, though. I will say that. Oh yeah, super light. I mean, it feels just about as light as the SNES Classic and the NES Classic. I mean, probably the same material as well. So let's go ahead and take this out the plastic. And that's just one sticker. Okay, you got the power button, nice and clicky. Got the reset button. So, and you have 2 USB ports here. So you got one for controller 1 and one for controller 2. You also have an HDMI port right here that goes to your TV, and then you also have your micro SD. Sorry, not micro SD. You got your micro USB port for power. So kind of interesting. Would have been kind of cool to have this thing pop open, but that's how simple they decided to keep it. So let's go ahead and put this to the side. Okay, so you kind of unravel it one thing at a time. Oh, here we go. And so here's what you get. So you get 2 controllers. Let me go ahead and take this out and see how it feels. So you get 2 controllers. Oh yeah, this D-pad, everything, it just feels like this is definitely a genuine PlayStation controller. You know, unfortunately it's not DualShock, you don't have the 2 joysticks. But yeah, all the buttons, it feels just like a PS1 controller or just any genuine PlayStation controller. So those of you that kind of had qualms about the controller, yeah, definitely this is it's definitely genuine. So you get a USB cord. They just don't give you the power brick. So there's a micro USB, and you also get HDMI. So with that completes the unboxing. So I'm just actually going to go ahead and flash forward to hooking this thing up, and we'll go ahead and take a look at some gameplay. All right, so we are back, and what we're actually going to go ahead and take a look at is this is the intro screen. This is kind of what you get. I actually went ahead and did the first boot. You actually hear the classic PlayStation chimes and stuff like that, like back in the day. So I got my controller here, everything's hooked up, and let's go ahead and play. So we're at the screen where you select what language. I'm going to go ahead and select English. And so you have a console button guide. So you can quit the game by pressing the reset button on the console. You can turn the console on and off with the power button. That makes sense. And then also to change game, you're going to hit the open button. So let's go ahead and go to the next screen. Healthy safe warnings. So here are the options that we get here. Alright, so I guess the first game I'm going to go ahead and try. Let's go ahead and jump into Tekken. So that was a classic, Tekken 3. So if you have 2 players, you can definitely, you know, throw in another controller and play with somebody if you got somebody locally. Let's go ahead and get into the gameplay. So let's just do arcade mode. Start. Yeah. Let's go ahead with Law. My man Law. Law versus Jin.
Round 1.
That wasn't too bad.
Fight.
You know what? I can see, yeah, there's definitely some lag. But honestly, the graphics look even better than what I remember, to be honest with you. Oh. Oh. I want to say it's got some lag, but it's not completely unplayable. But yeah, it's a difference in, yeah, you can definitely see the frame rate difference though. Start another game. Alright, so, and you do have a save point, so that's cool. Wow, this is so old school. So you can sneak around with R2. See how responsive it is. It's a little bit of lag because when I press the button, it kind of stopped and it's still moving. So I don't know. To jump, press triangle. To run and jump, press triangle while you run, of course. Alright, so triangle. So far, so good. Oh, wow. I shouldn't have did that. This is a true test of if there's a lag or not. Woo! Made it. Oh, I remember this. This used to be crazy. If there's a bunch of lag, I'll never make it through this. Red, red, red. Red, 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 green, red, 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 green, red, 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 green. Boom! I died. Boom, got it. You got Ken, of course, Sakura, Chun-Li, Ryu. Alright, let's go ahead and go with Ryu. And computer is going to be Sakura, of course. So, we'll play like one game or maybe partially through this. There we go. There we go. Got Jane. Oh wow. And the animations are pretty cool. Alright, so bottom line is this thing trash? I'm going to give you an answer, and it's not going to be with the popular majority. Honestly, it depends. This really probably should have been a $50 device, but I'm not going to say that because of the price that it's a bad product. Honestly, I think the hardcore gamers are really coming down on this hard because they're treating this like this is their PlayStation 4, their Xbox One. This is not that device. Don't get it twisted at all. Honestly, for what it is, I think PlayStation delivered on what they actually promised. This is just a novelty device that you can casually play. And let's say you got some friends over or something like that. It comes with 2 controllers, so you can plug both controllers into this thing, and then you can just have a good time with your friends or whatever, and then put it away when you're done. And when you put it away, you have something nice to look at because it's small. You know, it's built really well. It doesn't overheat. Don't have to worry about any of that. And you know, as simple as it is, you can use micro USB to plug it in and play. I even had this thing running off of a battery bank this whole entire time when I was running it. So honestly, and it doesn't really take that much power either at all. So with that, people's standards are way too high for this thing. I'm just going to say they're way too high because ultimately, you think you're really going to put a whole lot of hours into this? I mean, come on, really? This is just basically a toy is what it is. It's not a hardcore gaming machine. You don't need, even though it does have, I believe, a quad-core chip in there, a MediaTek chip. But, I mean, come on. Come on, people. Come on. Y'all are shooting this thing way too hard. But I'm going to agree that it is overpriced, just as the SNES Classic was overpriced. The NES Classic was overpriced a little bit. That people say that this is just ultimately just a Raspberry Pi in a PlayStation enclosure. And very well, it could be true. But I don't think it's not a reason that to call this thing trash just because it's priced high. So with that, I mean, I give you a recommend. If you are really a collector or if you just love novelty things like that, this is a quick pickup. I mean, you can just plug and play, put it away. But yeah, with that, that's kind of my outlook on this. So if this is your first time on the channel, just go ahead and feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.